Alright everybody, so what I'm going to show you guys is some examples for the Hangman program, and this is going to be done in the terminal. So what we want to do is go to the window, and we want to go to New Terminal. Alright, and I'm going to close off the environment so it gets a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to make sure my mouse is out of the way. First thing is we want to type in the word Python here, and then press enter. That's going to show what Python we're using. We're using Python 3.6, and now we have these little indicators on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, to show that we are currently in the interactive shell. So first we want to create a variable, and this is going to be animals, and we want to first create our first list of animals. The first list of animals is going to be aardvark, anteater, antelope, and Albert. So with each of these, we have the index of 0, which is aardvark, the index of 1, which is anteater, the index of 2, which is antelope, and then the index of 3, which is Albert. When I press enter, nothing shows up. If I want to have that actual list show up, I type in animals, and it pops up. Now this is all done in the terminal, where I would have to actually print animals if I wanted to be in the actual code. Alright, so now I actually want to have a certain index pop up. I want anteater to pop up. So what variable am I going to put in there? Is it going to be 0, 1, 2, or 3? Think about how to get anteater to show up. That's right, it's got to be 1. Now let's say I wanted anteater to be all capitalized. So what I do is I'm going to change the index of 1 into all caps, and I'm going to print out the list again. And now we have our new list. That is different than the first list. Why? It's because we have all caps for our index. Let's say I wanted to concatenate two things together. Let's say I wanted to create an aardvark antelope. An aardvark antelope. How do I combine those two terms? Well, it's going to be animals 0 plus what? What's going to go there? Is it going to be 1, 2, or 3? That's right, it's going to be 2. We have an aardvark antelope. We also want to think about what's the out of range bounds here. So 0, 1, 2, 3. If I wanted to get an out of bound range, I could pick any number larger than 3. So I'm just going to try for animals 4. I get an out of range index error. There's no value at index 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 all the way up to 9,999. I showed you that we can concatenate here, so I'm not going to show you that again, and you guys know what concatenation is. It's the combination of two like terms. You can also combine any term. You can combine a value of strings. You can combine a value of integers. It doesn't really matter for this for lists. So lists also allow you to check if certain things are inside of itself. So I'm going to look up antelope in animals. So if we take a look at the top, we know that that is correct, so that's going to return true. If I type in ant, is ant in animals? No, it is not. So that's returning a Boolean. All right, so now we're going to compare two like strings. So I'm going to say hello in Alice said hello to Bob. And this is going to be used later in the Hangman program, where it's checking for a string inside of another string. Okay, so this is a new concept. So this is the understanding of just basic lists and how they work. Now we're going to move on to using different methods. The two methods that we're going to take a look at is how we can reverse and append. We've done append, so I'm going to do spam, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do meow, and I'm going to do woof. I will print out spam, and now I'm going to append. I'm going to add one more thing, and I'm going to put in my cat's name, Odin. And I'll spam that. Now, let's say I wanted to reverse all of that. I can actually call this spam, and I can use the reverse. And when I call spam again, it completely reverses and shows Odin, woof, meow, 4, 3, 2, 1. Literally right in here. And that's really powerful stuff. So you don't need to change any of the order. You can immediately add things and you can immediately reverse things. Another really powerful method is split. So split allows anything that was in a singular string to become a list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sentence, and I'm going to equal it to input. What that means is, as soon as I press enter, I'm going to have the power of typing in my own sentence. So this is my very own sentence. When I type in sentence dot split, it's going to take each one of those strings and separate it. So now it's going to have a list that has, this is my very own sentence. Now if I wanted to hold this list, I would have to do something like this. So sent list equals sentence split. So now I can do sent list, and let's say I wanted the fourth word. So that would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Nice. So very comes out. All right. And our last mini concept is going to be twofold. We're going to be looking at the list and range functions. So we learned about range functions before. Now we're in lists. So I'm going to combine the two concepts. So it's going to be list range, and I'm going to put in the number 10. So what this is going to do is going to list, and it creates a list of all of these numbers from 0 to 10, and it doesn't include 10. Remember, it stops. If I do list hello, which is a string, it returns each of those letters as its own char, which is a different variable that we have not gotten into. All right, so let's say I wanted to create a list range of 1,000. Now I'm not gonna do this because it's going to be a very, 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 very long number. But what we can do is have a variable hold it. What that means is anytime I call spam now, it's going to actually run that code. So now I'm going to have range have two different parameters in here. So I'm going to have 10 and 20. So what this is going to do is it's going to start at the number 10 and go all the way to 20. Now it's not going to include 20. It's only going to go to 19. Okay, I want to redeclare spam, and this is going to go into slicing. So I'm going to be using fruit because you can slice fruit. And you can also slice vegetables. And now I want to do spam 1:3. So what that means is it's going to go from the first index, which is bananas, to the third, but not include the third. So the only two things that are going to pop up are what? That's right, bananas and carrots. If I wanted spam :2, what that means is :2 means that it doesn't have a starting index. That means it's going to start before the 0 index, and it's going to stop at the second index. So is it going to include carrots? No, it's not. It's only going to have apples and bananas. And now we're going to have spam 2:. So for understanding what colon is, colon means that anything before or after it's going to go to. So if I start at 2, which is carrots, it's going to go to the very end, which is beyond the third index of dates. And it's not going to include anything else. So it's going to show up carrots and dates. All right, so I'm going to type in a new variable. This is going to be my cat. And it's going to be Odin is my cat's. And I'm going to try to remember how to use that. Let's see if I got this right. Okay, so I got this index wrong. So let's see if I can get this. There we go. And type in my cat. Odin's my cat's name. Awesome. So that's using the escape character from last time. Remember, the slash allows me to use the single quote in there, which is awesome. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go from the 4th to the 12th index. So my cat, so 4 to 12. So it's blank is my. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 4th index, that blank. And then we go all the way to the 12th, which is the A. So then we stop at the A and go to the C. So blank is my C. So you guys are going to be using a lot of these different functions and a lot of these different splits, a lot of these different reversals, and this one is one of the most important ones, and it's taught last. So I'm going to start with this, so hello world and dot lower. So what this is going to do is it's going to lowercase the h in hello world, which it just did. So I'm going to do the exact same hello world, and instead I'm going to do dot upper. What this is going to do is it's going to change everything to uppercase. So this is really powerful stuff when you're comparing string values to each other. So you want to have a person guess a letter and they accidentally type in a capital Y. So capital Y like that. But you're looking for the lowercase y. So you would want to turn that y into a lowercase y so that it compares it properly. So that's going to be really important when we're trying to guess certain letters for the Hangman game. So this looks great. So I'm going to stop this video. Hope that you guys followed along in the terminal. What we're now going to do is transition to actually writing our code for the Hangman game.